We bought a bunch of Teavivre, including Long Jing Dragon Well.
Which looks so cool.
That's what we're trying today. Can you see it? We put it in our little tea holder thing, which is just so cool. It's skinny because they actually pound it down. So we wanted to know what this would taste like in porcelain versus the Yixing clay.
Both of these sets are from Teavivre. We've got the Teavivre purple Yixing clay teapot.
Made of clay. Evidently we just washed it.
And then we have the Teavivre Blue Line gaiwan.
Okay, let's warm these up.
So one thing that I've actually noticed about this, after using it quite a few times, if you cover this right here, it gives you a slower pour. But if you don't cover it, well, that was a bad example. Hang on. But if you don't cover it, it goes a lot faster. See the difference?
Because you're covering up the air from there.
And then with the gaiwan, you have to do it the one way. So next is putting the leaves in here. This is kind of just like a difference in how I would normally do it if it was just one or the other. So we add the tea. Man, this tea does not like my nails.
Okay, first we rinse.
So that's the same on both of these. Now, something interesting about the two of these pots is that they come in very different sets.
The tasting and smelling
yes,
sets.
that's different.
We got one set that had the aroma cup and the tasting cup.
Yes.
Another one had both of those and the tray. And actually the Yixing clay came with 8 little cups. And all this in the pot. The aroma and tasting cup are separate items.
But something that did come with this is this little genie lamp.
I like the shape of that.
This little holder that actually goes right here before the filter. Not entirely sure why, but it's very useful. So porcelain gives it a little bit more of a minerally earthy, while the clay actually smooths it out. So yeah, you can really tell that one's a lot smoother and sweeter already. This, by the way, is a separate entity.
Yeah, this one is brighter
on its own.
It's got that classic green tea, grassy smell. Okay, so now we're pouring it in to actually make tea out of it. With gaiwan, you use a higher percentage of leaves.
And with the teapot, we found that the same thing normally applies, but just wait a little bit less time than you would normally. So,
and it, look, see, it expands already.
So this one actually, this strainer, I guess fits, but I don't like to use it, so I just use it to continue to hold that, and that's the way that this strainer looks. So you can tell that the two strainers are very different.
Differently shaped, but same concept.
I really like this one better because it has
Oh.
It has the handle, which if it doesn't have a handle, that can happen.
You just gotta watch what you're doing, of course.
I just proved my point.
Okay, we have brewed. Now we shall pour. With the gaiwan, it's definitely harder to pour
So
and
this
not lose
one's
leaves.
This one's definitely better for someone who's not as adept at handling their
And you,
leaf.
in both cases, you get as much out as you can so that it's not sitting there brewing. And then the point of the strainer is to catch any leaves. Oh, that's a lovely yellow color here.
So as you can see, yeah, both of them did get some of that
Watch
little
the color.
green
It's
juice.
practically clear.
Oh, oh, mama.
Oh, yes. Look how big they got. So there is our first infusion.
Without any preamble.
Standard green tea.
But
Slightly sweet and slightly bright.
with these, there's actually a whole thing that you can do, which we might go more into depth on that one in a later video, but
You've
you
seen us
smell
use
it,
these in the video where we bought these.
and then you make a mushroom out of it. And
These are the actual instructions for how to do this.
then you do that, and then if you wait a little bit, you can kind of hear the plop.
Little bit of astringency just at the end of that. Bloop, I heard it say it. So
Does it
now, comparing that light and bright to this.
pop, sweet, but still kind of astringent.
Yet it's funny, with other teas, it actually lowers the astringency. But in this case, I feel like the clay is making it more astringent.
Definitely.
See what I mean? That's interesting. It does different things to different teas. So that's number 1. There's mine. Okay, time for number 2.
I'm just going to go ahead and give you that.
Because every time you do it, it changes a little.
So here are our 3 cups that we're working with. Yeah.
So there's some for you.
But
There's some for you.
I really like to use the clay one. Oh, actually, we still have some of this. So.
Oh, well. Pour it in here. We'll just drink it.
Oh, it pains me.
I do enjoy that pointy spout. For some reason, it reminds me of a nose. Like the pointiest nose you could have.
But I really like to just watch a movie and use this.
Yes, she sits around drinking tea while watching movies.
It's either popcorn or tea, and since my popcorn maker is currently broken...
It was old.
Yeah.
Okay.
It overheats the popcorn, and then it makes it fly out and smell like burnt popcorn.
Seems like a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Still pretty clear here.
I mean, you can't
It's
really
not a lot of
tell
color.
with this one, but yeah, it's fairly clear. Now, I think I finally figured out what this little guy is for.
What little guy?
This spare one. It's to catch it and do that.
Like a funnel?
Kind of.
Oh, because this one is clearly just a display, you know, set this on top of it so it's not touching your surface.
So yeah, out of the 2 pours, they're actually fairly alike, but you know, you figure that because they're both from Teavivre, so.
But you've got thousands of years of history on this, so of course lots of different forms are going to happen with that much history.
But both of these are considered both strainers or equality cups. If you don't want to strain your tea, you can still use these and should because they're labeled as equality cups, because if you're pouring for more than one person and you want to get a similar infusion, or if you are going to do more than 1 cup of the same infusion, you can actually put it in here so that it won't continue brewing and you'll get a stronger or lighter taste for one person or one part of the brew to the next.
Everybody gets an equal taste. So now this one, part of it is we put fewer leaves in the gaiwan and more in the pot. But this,
Well, in that case, we can fix that very quickly.
this is very light, and this is much stronger.
Now, you'll actually notice that if I show you the leaves of the gaiwan versus the pot, it's something very interesting. So these have actually expanded lengthwise and were very crushed together. These, however, expanded very fluffy and all over in the pot. And the reason that is because you're constantly putting pressure on the gaiwan to go this way with the water.
Now you always want to have plenty of room for your leaves. That's why you don't want to use one of those little egg-shaped balls
No,
because you're just
bad.
not giving it room to expand.
Horrible. Do not use.
Much stronger in the clay and more astringent. So if you want to have the whole experience, use the clay, but if you want it milder, use the
Well,
porcelain.
actually, I added some more to the porcelain, so let's see if that helps. Get this one less astringent and get that one more.
That's got a little more body. That one's downright astringent. I feel that on my tongue.
But I like it.
If you want to say at the end of the day, wow, I had tea today. Oh yeah, that's a more equal distribution now. Number 3.
Takes a bit of work to get it in there right.
Yeah, the angle's fun.
I recommend watching Ice Age movies as you're pouring from this particular strainer.
Still clear looking. Just not a lot of color to Long Jing. Now you can see a little color if you can get the angle in the cup there. Just the lightest of yellow, like lemon juice. Now,
Yum.
as a green tea, how do you compare Long Jing to other green teas you've had?
I like it better, actually.
It's polite. It's herbaceous.
Except for
What?
my matcha.
Oh, matcha. You can have it. Lighter. Always with that just a little bit of a green bite to it. This is a light and herbaceous green tea, in my opinion.
So, what do you think of this one versus this one?
Honestly, I think I would do this one in porcelain.
I actually would do it in clay. Oh, it's like a little upturned mushroom.
Oh, are you making a mess?
No.
Learning about surface tension? When you really fill a cup full, surface tension keeps it from overflowing, but if you disturb that surface tension, there it goes.
But since I had actually stuck something in it, it's not actually that.
Flattened tea leaves. Aroma chestnut with slightly orchid fragrance. Okay. Do you get the floweriness and the sort of nuttiness? I'll go with that. I'm drinking it. Aroma.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Very nutty, actually.
Leaving a sweet aftertaste. Alright. Low caffeine, less than 10% of a cup of coffee. All right.
And you still haven't drinking it.
It actually says to refrigerate the leaves. That's interesting. This is just a sample that we have. It's getting sweeter, isn't it? Gotta bloop it again.
That could be because yours is cold.
Is it sweeter when it's cold? Yeah, I'm getting definite sweet now.
There it is again, the surface tension.
Sweet and astringent at the same time. A little bit puckery. Now my tongue's getting a little dry. All right, Emma, should they buy this one?
Yes, and they should do this.
They should buy one of these clay pots so they can have fun with it. But remember, the tasting cups don't come with the clay set. That's a separate thing that you could get. And until we see you again,
Make sure to make time for tea and a good book.